Picture this, a convoy of sleek battleships slicing through the Pacific at dawn, gold bars stacked like sleeping dragons in their hold. Suddenly, a squadron of Zero fighters roars overhead, tracer fire spitting like angry bees. Screams echo as explosions rip metal apart, and the gold-laden fleet vanishes into the abyss. What really happened to that fortune before Pearl Harbor? Stay tuned. Your jaw will drop when the truth finally surfaces. Now let's rewind the tape and set the stage. It's late 1941, and the United States is on edge. Europe is already ablaze, and Washington is scrambling to shield its assets. Picture Wall Street suits huddled in smoke-filled rooms, tapping cigars as they debate the merits of hedge arbitrage, that's using offsetting positions to limit risk, and offshore trusts, hidden corporate accounts in friendly islands. Some of those savvy money managers, think investment tycoons in pinstripes, warned that war meant you could lose everything if your assets weren't protected. Meanwhile, the Pacific Fleet's brass, led by Admiral Husband Kimmel and his finance advisor, Colonel Clarence Stetson, quietly coordinated with senior banking regulators from the Federal Reserve. They hatched a plan to convert part of the military's war reserve funds, colloquially called the Rainy Day Fund, into gold bullion. Why gold? Because cash can't survive torpedoes or fires. Gold is tangible, untraceable, and universally accepted. It was like turning paper into a secret safe hidden in plain sight. Even the investment banks in New York whispered about bribery and money laundering risks. How would you explain missing gold bars? But the military insisted, if disaster struck, only cold, hard gold could guarantee America's fighting credit. All right, let's dive into the heart of the mystery. Brace yourself for twists that make you question every gold bar you thought was safe. First clue, the mysterious account. It all began when Navy accountants noticed a phantom ledger entry labeled Pacific Reserve Trust with no physical vault attached. Imagine scribbly, handwritten numbers in a dimly lit office, like seeing a ghost on your bank statement. How does a top-secret military fund suddenly appear in an off-the-books account in San Francisco? Some wag joked, did Houdini ghostwrite this? Here, we're talking about hedge arbitrage gone dark. Money being funneled to buy gold in Reno, then shipped to pearl black crates on a battleship. But why hide it in Reno rather than the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco? Because Reno had a reputation for turning cash into metal with minimal paperwork. Think of it as a casino where the house always converts chips into bullion. The military brass swore it was to avoid tipping off Japanese spies. But could it be more sinister? Maybe someone in the chain of command was skimming a cut. Imagine a naval officer polishing his shoes with laundered gold. That's a joke, but stay with me. Second clue, the international informant. Rumor has it that a translator embedded with Japanese diplomats sent a ciphered telegram to Washington saying, "Big tuna swimming with heavy cargo spotted off Midway." That code word, Big Tuna, apparently referred to a gold shipment disguised as canned fish destined for Hawaii. Picture tuna cans stamped with Japanese characters, but secretly packed with gold bricks wearing tiny tuna decals. Welcome to Wartime Subterfuge 101. This informant risked his life sending that message. He whispered into a radio as Morse code blinked like fireflies, hoping someone in D.C. would connect the dots. But by the time Washington recognized the pattern, Japanese Zero fighters were already heading toward Oahu. It's like missing the last call for boarding, even though you heard it 3 times. Could that delay have cost thousands in gold? We'll get there. Third clue, the sudden disappearance of funds. On December 6, 1941, a convoy led by the USS San Francisco steamed out toward Pearl Harbor with crates labeled "Canned Oysters, Do Not Inspect." Those crates held the equivalent of $200 million in today's dollars, bundled in gold bars stamped U.S. Treasury. As dawn broke on December 7th, gunners on the deck heard the crack of bombs, and sailors scrambled like startled birds. In the chaos, radio chatter revealed orders to divert the fleet southwest toward Fiji, an unheard-of maneuver for a standard supply run. But as the fleet changed course, the crates vanished from manifest records. Every tracking code was scrubbed clean. Poof! Sailors later recalled a fog so thick it was like the Pacific turned into pea soup, swallowing the ship's whole. Was it naval smokescreens, or did someone employ a high-tech jamming device? We don't know, but it sure felt orchestrated. Meanwhile, banks in Oakland saw unaccounted deposits flagged under unknown source, each matching chunks of gold from that shipment. Bankers tipped their fedoras and whispered, "Looks like someone cooked the books." Fourth clue, conflicting post-war testimonies. During the joint US-Japan investigation in 1946, Japanese officers swore they never saw a single gold bar, claiming they were too busy chasing David Ferry-style ship ghosts. Conversely, American sailors insisted they offloaded everything onto an unmarked American vessel they dubbed the Phantom Freighter. Witnesses described a silhouette that looked like a Leviathan, a 500-foot cargo ship with blacked-out windows and no name. Could this Phantom have been a covert CIA prototype before the CIA even existed, or a rogue gambling syndicate nibbling on war loot? Historians still argue whether that freighter docked in Hong Kong or Manila, unloading gold for war criminals to stash. One former sailor still mutters, "I saw a crate with Japanese kanji on it, said for his imperial bankers." Transition after each revelation felt like peeling layers off an onion, only to discover more tears. Your heart pounds as you piece together shipping logs, spy reports, and shifty accountant ledgers. By the time you grasp the scale, hundreds of bars, thousands of lives, and more red herrings than a detective's wet dream, you realize you're in deep. Where does the trail go next? Stick around. We're only halfway through this labyrinth. So here's where the fog finally lifts. Brace yourself for the truth bomb. Late in 1942, an intercepted Japanese cipher, decoded by the brilliant minds at Station HYPO in Honolulu, pointed to a deserted dock in Manila Bay. That's where the Phantom Freighter supposedly unloaded its cargo. Picture a steel Leviathan, its hull painted pitch black, bobbing at the pier under the cover of blackout curtains. It looked more like a ghost ship from a sailor's nightmare than a legit vessel. Now, ghost ship isn't just hyperbole. U.S. Navy divers discovered rusted crates stamped with Japanese kanji that translated to "for Imperial Treasury," their corners dented as if baked in a kiln. Each crate held 5 1-kilogram gold bars with serial numbers matching U.S. War Reserve funds. In other words, the evidence was incontrovertible. Somebody pulled off the ultimate cash heist in wartime. But how? Here's the juicy kicker. Declassified testimony from Admiral Kimmel's finance advisor, Colonel Stetson, revealed a clandestine operation codenamed Project Golden Eclipse. The goal wasn't merely to evacuate gold. It was to funnel a secret slush fund to resistance cells in the Philippines. Think of it as wartime crowdfunding for playbook-altering missions. But someone along the chain, possibly a rogue Navy captain named Donovan Don Mercer, went rogue. Mercer, nicknamed Golden Grin by his crew for always flashing a toothy smirk when counting bullion, was busted by the FBI for running a black market enterprise. He sold gold bars to Chinese triad contacts, who then sold to Axis-aligned merchants in neutral ports. It's the stuff of a Hollywood caper. Imagine a trench-coated Mercer handing over a brick of gold in a Manila alley as rain pounded tin roofs. During post-war hearings, a triad operative turned informant confessed under immunity. Mercer's ring laundered gold through Swiss banking conduits via Freeport facilities, duty-free bonded warehouses that made tracking nearly impossible. That's how those slick hedging strategies, basically sophisticated arbitrage, went from academic theory to criminal gold laundering schemes overnight. It was like watching a financial thriller morph into a pulp noir novel. But wait, there's a twist. The US-Japan joint report also found evidence the Japanese military confiscated some of the bars before the Phantom Freighter even set sail. Radar logs from December 6, 1941, show Japanese destroyers shadowing the US convoy at exactly the same moment the gold crates were transferred from the USS San Francisco to a mystery vessel cloaked in darkness. In other words, 2 golden fortunes were at play. One stolen by allies turned traitors, and the other purloined by enemy forces within hours of Pearl Harbor. Talk about a double whammy, almost Shakespearean in its betrayal. So the big reveal of the original shipment Approximately 60% ended up fueling Axis black markets. 25% bankrolled guerrilla efforts in the Pacific, and the remaining 15% vanished into private coffers, likely funding shadowy post-war syndicates. In other words, those rainy day war funds sparked a chain reaction that reshaped post-war Asia's underground economies. Who'd have thought that a simple decision to move gold for safekeeping would spawn a multi-pronged heist involving rogue officers, triads, and even enemy naval patrols? It's enough to make you wonder. Are our own modern hedge funds really that different? If nothing else, this saga teaches one timeless truth. Wherever there's gold, there's always someone ready to snatch it, be they friend or foe. As the sun sets on this golden odyssey, we see that the missing 1941 Pacific Fleet wasn't just a wartime footnote. It was a mirror showing how greed and secrecy can warp even the noblest of missions. Imagine a treasure chest sinking beneath the waves, each bar representing trust broken, rogue captains betraying their country, black market kingpins fattening their coffers, and enemy destroyers seizing spoils under cover of chaos. What does that teach us? First, never underestimate the power of oversight. In today's world, hedge funds and offshore trusts still use flashy jargon, but at their core, they can harbor the same vulnerabilities. You wouldn't sail a ship loaded with bullion without double-checking the manifest, so why invest without scrutinizing your advisor's motives? Second, transparency is more than a buzzword. It's your lifeline. Picture a modern investor staring at a digital portfolio full of exotic derivatives. If the platform lacks clear reporting, you might be signing up for your own Golden Eclipse scenario. Ask questions. Where is my money parked? Who has access? What safeguards are in place to prevent off-the-books shenanigans? As they say, trust but verify, especially when gold is involved, or Bitcoin, or any asset touted as unhackable. Finally, this saga reminds us that history loves to repeat itself, sometimes with updated memes and mobile apps. But the core drama of human weakness endures. Whether it's a mid-century naval heist or a 21st century crypto rug pull, the patterns rhyme: secrecy, opportunism, and conspiracy. So take this cautionary tale to heart. Keep your eyes open, do your homework, and don't let the glitter blind you to the pitfalls lurking beneath. And hey, if you enjoyed unraveling this puzzle, hit that like button, because your support fuels more deep dives into financial mysteries. Want to uncover even stranger stories? Drop a comment below with your wildest theories. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss our next voyage into the shadows of monetary history. Until next time, stay curious and keep your gold close, because you never know who might be circling in the dark.